If you can hear me, how you going, folks? I'm just waiting for stuff to happen. We're online on YouTube, setting data online. Hello. Well, let's get that out of the way. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and others, to Amos Sewn, number 11. It's news, spelt differently. What a great show lined up for today, maybe. We'll see how it goes anyway. I'm waiting for a call from Vinnie Eastwood from New Zealand to have a bit of a chat about whatever there is to have a chat about. But in the meantime, waiting for his call, I thought I'd start the stream, 2 o'clock approximately, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And how is everyone today? Light's a bit funny. Yeah, I haven't sorted that out right well yet anyway. But went down to Canberra last weekend, and it was quite a good little turnout. And we had some Indigenous people get up and have a few words. Now I'll just open up this little bizzo here. That's DK's channel. Right, there I am. Anyway, on my YouTube channel, you will see that I've arranged the front page now so that you can see what I've done. And all these little pictures down here, wherever you are all the shows, or the recordings I did down in Canberra. It was quite an eye-opening little thing, and I'd recommend you have a look at them and see what some of the Indigenous people have planned. They're well, it's quite interesting. It's worth watching. Anyway, what's going on there? Bloody dice. Okay, all right. Well, from here, something says it's waiting to stream, but according to me, I'm streaming, so who knows? Oh, look, yes, there I am on, what's it called again? Twitch. Yes, but let's change away from that one. Okay, well, just get it out of the way. One of my heads is enough. Yes, down in Canberra, the Indigenous people had quite a bit to say. Had some good conversations with several people, and I recommend you have a look at those videos. Let me know what you think about them. It's I will be going back down there eventually. I'm just going to save a bit of money now, I think, because I've spent most of my cash. That's okay. But in the meantime, I'll carry on doing my shows, and hopefully we can have a bit of news happening shortly. I went to online today. I was looking at certain news sites, and they kept on saying, great story coming up soon, just got to subscribe, so give us your money. So instead of that, I went to the newsagents and I bought some newspapers. I've still got the money in here anyway. Then I just picked a couple of little stories out that I thought might be interesting. See, there's one of them anyway. PM runs with the foxes and hunts with the hounds. Scott Morrison has brushed aside allegations from his own senators that he is ruthless and lacking a moral compass. That doesn't sound like ScoMo, does it? Yeah, it's a good name, ScoMo. I reckon they could change the O to a U, though. You know what that means, anyway. Outgoing Liberal Concetta, two version name, laid into the Prime Minister during a fiery late-night parliamentary speech on Tuesday. Start with the T. Anyway, the senator who lost pre-selection for the New South Wales upper house seat at the weekend claimed Mr Morrison was not fit to be Prime Minister after the federal budget was revealed. He is adept at running with the foxes and hunting with the hounds. She'll find a job in the media sooner or later, I'm sure, because she's out of Parliament. Anyway, he's lacking a moral compass and having no conscience. I've heard that before. Could be true, could it? What the hell? ScoMo. Hell, Prime Minister, leader of the country. Yes, right. In my public life, I've met ruthless people. Morrison topped the list, closely followed by Immigration Minister Alex Hawke. Morrison is not fit to be Prime Minister, and Hawke certainly not fit to be a minister. I think she's been Lady Scorned, do you think? However, Mr. Morrison said, being criticised goes with the territory. Yes, well, he's getting a bit of that late, didn't he? Yeah, he said his budget sort of thing, and there's obviously an election coming up, so splashing cash around apparently. But the thing is, most of these cash things that get injected generally go to both, well, they generally go to government agencies, and they dole it out when they see fit, don't they? Right, get some coffee. It's good coffee, that. Made in America. Here's another one in another newspaper. Someone called Bolt. I don't know if you know who that is. He's probably a very successful person. Some people like him, some people don't. But I don't read much of his stuff. But this seems pretty interesting. A threatening circle. Solomon Islands deal with China surround Australia, giving it great power. Happy with the budget handouts, the cheaper petrol, cost of living giveaways, and more huge funding for the global warming scare. It's his words, not mine. Well, sorry to interrupt the party, but there's a news flash from the real world. We've been surrounded by China. China! We probably heard last week about China's draft military agreement with the Solomon Islands in our northwest, and a medium-range missile away from Brisbane and Sydney. That should be fun. Where was I? But probably haven't heard about the alarming catching the deal that would allow China to send troops to the Solomon Islands on a pretext. Pretext of what? Nor we have read that China naval base at the Solomon Islands would complete China's encirclement of Australia, giving it power to cut off with every direction. Check the map. While we've been partying with money borrowed from our grandkids. I like this guy's style of riding, don't you? China's communist dictatorship has been working on its declaration of plans to dominate the world by 2049. Good old Beijing. It should be fun. What do you reckon? You like having a China? Hello.
Hey, brother.
Hey, Vinny.
So I'm not quite ready just yet, brother.
No worries, mate. Yeah, it's all good. I've just been reading a bit of the news stories here in Australia. And
No, I don't follow the news generally because it becomes irrelevant the day after.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But yeah, no, it's...
Ancient knowledge, on the other hand, that shit fucking stays true forever.
That's right. Well, you got any ancient news you want to share with us? Anyway.
Are you live, are you?
Yes, I'm live. I'm on YouTube and Twitch.
Oh, wow. I'm still in my kitchen. I'm not even in the studio yet.
Oh, that's okay, mate. Yeah. Just, well, Tanya's here. DK's there. So we've got a huge audience of about 3 people.
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, no, sometimes you might get as much as 5. 5's good, isn't it? Sometimes, you mate. What about the occasions getting?
I'm killed to get 5.
My goal is to get double figures.
Bro, that's aiming pretty high.
You got to aim high, even if you haven't got open L. Doesn't matter.
I mean, as a stoner, aiming high is sort of what we do.
I just don't have no turn, though. That's what's wrong.
We do everything high, aiming included.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You have a good time, not a long time. Anyway. Yeah. What was I talking about? Yeah, went down. Huh?
Get yourself a tote going, mate.
Oh, yes, I will. Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm surely done all. Mind if I just go? Oh, by the way, I'll show you all. I got a T-shirt when I was down the road, or down Canberra. Come on to Canberra. That's the way.
Other way.
Other way.
Convoy to Canberra 2022. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, laughing. It's
I'd like a T-shirt where it says Canberra. I can't bear it.
oh, you can't bury it.
And have like a little stick figure or something holding their ears for the LRAD weapons.
Yes. Yeah, well, let's face it. Yeah, I arrived there a couple of days after the that thing, and yeah, I saw people with some horrific scars and stuff, and yeah, well, as far as I wasn't there on the day. I arrived there a couple of days later, and yeah, there was one bloke with had blisters all the side of his head, and another lady, her hands are all blistered, and it's quite horrific. And yeah, well, that's what our gumblements like to do to us, you know, because they care. They care about links in the grave, I think.
As Dave, be kind. Here's a bit of LRAD weaponry for you.
Yeah.
You know, before the protest down in New Zealand, you asked a New Zealander what LRAD was, they would have said, Mexican nightclub?
Wow. Well, LRAD, yeah, it sounds like a rapper or something, really, isn't it? Yeah. LRAD. Anyway, I'm not real good at the.
All these police and shit. Yeah, man. I could see it. LRAD, you know, coming soon, man. Check out my new LP.
That's the way, yeah. Well, what else was I going to talk about? Yeah, well, just about. Yeah, I get stage fright a bit. The hours preceding the show, I sort of think to myself, I got this, that, talk about, and when I write. Actually, one thing I didn't do today, I normally write myself a list. Didn't write a list today. I was all excited about getting you on the show, actually, Vinny. So,
dude, like inside the actor's studio, I watched it one time. I forget which actor it was. It might have been Samuel L. Jackson, but he was talking about how when good actors go in for their audition, they're not trying to rehearse their lines. They're not trying to remember what they're saying. They spend before their rehearsal in a trance state. They're trying to get themselves into a good state of mind. Right. And that's what I do for the show. And it's all about the flow. Same with musicians and talk radio and conversation, just in general, when you try to focus on the other ABC, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, the conversation and more to the point, your thoughts are really hampered in their capacity to flow unless you've got a lot of prep time to really make it appear seamless.
So in other words, chill and have a cone. I'll be back in a sec. Can you carry on talking for a sec so I can disappear for a sec?
All right, no worries.
Yeah,
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Vinny Eastwood Show. We're taking over now permanently. And
watch it, Vinny. We're on YouTube.
People are always like, "Hey, Vinny, why you come on with things and always try to take over and stuff?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm just better at it." It's like, you know, you wonder, Vinny, sometimes, why do people think you're an asshole? It's just like, now I know it. You know, it could be worse. We could be in a world that's run by satanic pedophiles. You know, thank God that's not the case, right? You know, otherwise I might be perturbed.
Oh no, that couldn't be the case, could it? No, we're going to trust our politicians. They care. Oops, excuse me. Bit of secondhand smoke. Well, yeah, you've got to have your natural herbal remedies, and that's mine.
Well, did you ever hear about tertiary smoke? You know how primary smokers, you smoke it. Secondary smokers, you smoke it around somebody else and they breathe it in.
Yeah.
Tertiary smokers, when you got it on your fingers and you touch like a baby or something like that.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it's also the kind of weed that you get at university because it's a tertiary institution.
Well, yeah, it's very touching. Here we go. Anyway, well, while I'm having a bit of a mind blank, I'm working on a little show intro. It's about trains. It's about the light at the end of the tunnel. Now you go down a tunnel and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And all of a sudden, there's a train coming. Are you going to be on it, under it, or clinging to the walls?
Oh, sorry, you're going to have to start that again. I totally interrupted him.
As you did. Yeah, well, I've been talking to DK a lot, and the only way to talk to DK is to talk over him. Yeah, so, yeah, that's why I'm sorry I'm doing that to you too, I guess. Anyway, we'll do that again. I won't blow the whistle again because once a day is enough for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Julian Assange learned that the hard way.
Oh, yes, indeed. Right, okay. There's light at the end of the tunnel, folks. Oh, there's a train coming. Are you on it, under it, or clinging to the walls? So it needs work, but that's the start of something.
Just like, hey, everybody, I can see the light at the end, like a Martin Luther King-ish kind of thing. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I can see the light.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit, there's a train coming. Are you on it, under it, or is it on it, or in front of it, or clinging to the walls? DK reckons he's going to be clinging to the walls. How you going, DK? You probably we'll probably stream on his channel. I'm saying. Let's just have a wee look at. Oh, that's me. Yeah. DK, yeah, there we go. I'm on DK's channel too. Oh, look, you're breaking up.
Sorry, is my audio coming through reasonably clear across the stream, or is it relatively shit?
It's having a couple of breaks, but not too bad. What about the audience? Can you hear him okay? Let us know in the chats if you can hear Vinny okay. And if you can't, well, who knows what we'll do about it. We'll sort something out. We're professionals. Well, actually, no, we're not. I'm not. Anyway, we're just winging it and having a ball doing it. Because, and one thing I've got to say, those lovely people in the audience, is how I got to talk to Vinny. Once upon a time, way back in the early 2000s, I watched a lot of Vinny Eastwood, not Vinny Eastwood, his name, David Icke, and a few other people around the time. And all of a sudden, this bloody Kiwi bloke came on his show. That bloke. And yeah, well, I've been watching his show ever since then. I was a mod on his YouTube channel, and then he got cancelled. Is that my fault? Something I said? Anyway.
It's all our fault, really, but I mostly blame everyone else.
Yeah, well, that's it. So you should, because let's face it, could be so. Well, I had actually, I'm quite proud. My second video on YouTube was deleted because I mentioned something about this and not having your children. Anyway, we won't go into that because they don't want to ban this one too. And then a few weeks ago, I was down in Canberra at the government house. That's where the governor lives. And, well, there's a bunch of people there, and Ricardo Bosi, you know him, don't you, Vinny?
Oh, yeah, he's the Bosi with the mosty.
He's the one, yeah. Well, anyway, he had a bit of a chat, and I recorded it and streamed it later, and then, well, that earned me my first strike. So, Ricardo Bosi's fault. No.
Well, I think it's funny, like, after talking to him and his missus, it's like, I was like, Ricardo, your wife's even more bossy than you are.
Well, I've never actually, I've actually never even actually spoke to Ricardo. I've sort of locked eyes with him a few times, and well, conversation never happened because every time you see him, he's surrounded by people. Because he's right. Sounds a bit like a politician. I don't know, but anyway.
When I had him and Billy TK on the show too.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, break it up.
Oh, sorry, we had Billy TK and Ricardo Bosi on the Vinny Eastwood show together one time. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard, and then it went quiet for a minute. Maybe you just won't say anything. I don't know. That's the thing about the radio or these sort of things. You've got to keep on talking. You've got to keep on making the content, don't you?
Yeah. Like the basic question is, how many hours of content have you created today? All right. If the answer is 0, you're in trouble, son.
Yeah.
You can't make 6,000 videos in 15 years without making at least a video a day.
Well, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I created
8 videos or something like that, just to bring the average up, so I could take a few months off.
Well, yeah. Well, where's the fucking video? I'll find out. Here's my channel. Yeah, I've got. Well, here's all the videos. You can see that. You can see video, Vinny, can't you?
To a degree behind you, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's my screen. That's me. That was my Christmas bonus. I give it $1,000. I bet $600 on that. I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, I haven't got around to green screen shit yet, but I'm eventually. But as you see, this is all the videos I've done. Was that 8, 16? Yeah, well, 40 odd videos, yeah, or more. Yeah, there's Newcastle, and yeah, well, the Ricardo Bosie ones, like this one, number 2, that's 3,800 views.
Not
what?
That's nice, man. I can't even get 3,000 views with my David Icke and Mark Passio.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the topper, and then there's another one with 1.9, and most of them are around 500 or so. Except for like my live streams, might get 50 if I'm lucky. This one, hopefully, I'll get a few. Just, yeah, well, you're a prominent figure, Vinny. Well,
I mean, there's whole bunches of people out there who are doing whole bunches of work, right? And when you get this, the way I learned how to do things is just find everybody who doesn't need help and ask them what's not being done that needs being done.
Well,
right? and give them a hand, because otherwise it's like you're giving them more work and stuff like that. It's like, no, I just want to help you in whatever capacity I can. In so doing, I learn from the best, how they work and how they do things. And yeah, bro, just every time somebody pissed me off, some slave or some fluoride head or some vaccine junkie freaking giving me grief, and I'm really pissed off about it, I'll go out and I'll help 10 people in the truth movement just to make myself feel better.
Well, that's right, yeah. Like sort of, it's helping people's what it's sort of all about, really, isn't it? Because that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, well, you're seeing today's show, and I don't know if you've seen any of the others, but yeah, well, I'm sure we'll have conversations about what I could do different or better, and a lot of it I'm discovering myself. DK's been a bit of a hand here and there, and well, just watching your show, sort of, I learn things and sort of you work out what you're doing. And it's really, I'm starting. I've got, well,
we still needed to do that private work session so I can help you hook it up proper, bro.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, yeah, we just need to schedule that for, I don't know, any time between now and next Thursday. Let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, well, fucking suss it. Where's my bloody calendar here? I might actually lose the call if I switch to my calendar. So,
well, no. You're on your phone, are you?
Yeah. At the moment, I can reconnect on my other device soon.
Yeah. Look at all those little... Tanya, she's put a heap of little symbols in there, and she said, "You're our hero, Vinny." Or Vinny, you're our hero. Anyway. Enough of the... David Icke also posted the vid you did with him on Mark Passio. Oh, yeah. He would have. Oh, look, here he is. Yeah. Here's the man himself.
Did he or would he have?
Well, did is the word. Yeah.
Oh, they saw it on David Icke's show.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Oh. Well, that's what it said. Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, there on the big screen now, mate.
Now, is my image very fuzzy by chance?
There's a little bit of a shine in front of your face, like a.
I bought one of these things. This is a bit of a product test review for you.
Oh, yeah.
I bought these, when you're scrolling through Facebook and you see those really cool advertisements for that kind of like gloves that can't be cut or whatever.
Yeah.
Broken and stuff like that. You know how this unbreakable, freaking, you can run a car over it, you can run it by a Z high, you can put it in the water. You know how it broke?
You dropped on the carpet?
While I was in the bathroom and smashing on a linoleum floor. That's all it takes to break this unbreakable. So what I'm going to try and do is actually remove the case and bring it back to the naked iPhone. Oh, it's going to be so racy. We'll see if that that actually improves the thing. You'll have to
There we go.
camera off because this is going to go in my box.
We've got a bit of a sun flare. Yeah, it's a sun flare. Yeah. The sun's behind you. And
yeah. Well, they say that I do have flare, but I'm just not that bright.
Yes, this flare's gone from somewhere else. But that yellow beam, yellow thing up in the sky, whatever that is, you know, ask a flat earther, they'll tell you.
Well, that was the real funny thing, actually, talking to Australians, about the. Here we go. Is that better?
That's much better. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
moment. Get it back on the gimbal here.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a great little fucking tool, that gimbal. Yeah, I got. Just grab it. I'll show you.
Boom.
Here we go. Oh, there's a big screen. Yeah, here's one of my favourite toys. You know, these things.
I've got the slightly newer model, so it's got a much wider degree of rotation. And you just flip from straight up to the side on beautifully. It's like nice, man.
I've seen that, but it was like that one was 160 and the other one was 200. So
yeah, you should have paid the extra $40.
I should have, yeah.
It gives you an extra $400 worth of value.
Bugger. Yeah, well, that's coming through pretty good now. Yeah. You can see your warts and all. I didn't know you had so many warts. Anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you get to know me too well.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the other day how long I've been watching your show. Like, how long since YouTube's been gone?
Oh, YouTube technically is still there. It's just I'm not there.
Well, you know what I mean.
It only happened last year, didn't it? Like,
yeah.
The censorship started real hard in 2019.
Yeah.
And then with all the demonetization, then the deplatforming in 2021. And so 2021 was basically the last year I was on YouTube, and it happened pretty early on in the year, like maybe this time last year. So I've been without YouTube for a year, and I'm up to, I think I had 18 people watching the Twitch live stream today.
Oh, well, so unfortunately, with these sort of things, especially on the smaller platforms at the moment, you're sort of preaching to the converted. And and the thing is, on YouTube, at least there's a chance you'll get sort of people who are just browsing, shall we say. That's what we're after. And funny thing too, actually, on my YouTube channel, the other day I had 160 subscribers. Today I got 158. so people who have dropped out, or YouTube is starting to do.
I found that exact phenomenon on my one.
Yeah.
Took me 18 months to go from 55,500 subscribers to 56,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
In the middle of an election campaign, when my channel was getting 100 times the attention that it normally did, and I'm just thinking to myself, is this even possible?
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of thinking we've got an election coming up here in Australia. I better get back on camera. Sorry, folks. We're drifting off in conversation. I wonder if I'll last through the election campaign, because I'm thinking about going out and doing some filming. I like this going out and filming things just around my local area, because I've sort of exhausted most of my funds at the moment, and it's a bit difficult to get the camera at the moment. I'll get there in May maybe, but yeah, this month too, Easter's coming up, and it's a busy time in the bakery. Oh, DK, if you're listening, and to you, Vinny, I'll put a loaf of sourdough in the mail soon if you like. Well, you'll be able to tell DK what it's like, but
your old sourdough that came through the mail, bro.
Yeah. Was it still edible?
It was still edible. It needed to be toasted, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sourdough's better toasted anyway. Actually,
it was real sticky still, like kind of like that beautiful sort of still doughy on the inside, kind of chewy sourdough, bro. That beautiful sort of yeasty sort of flavour to it that really came through. It was fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. That's like a I suppose I should tell people
and that's even a couple of days old, after it's been through the post to come to New Zealand, after it's been toasted. So it's like it must be better fresh.
Would have been at least a week in the mail, at least.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but mail system's picked up shortly, and so this weekend we make the whole meal. We make a whole meal thing on the weekend. I'll send it to you on Monday. I'll send you and DK a couple of loaves. And anyway, enough of the advertisement. Anyway, the advertisement comes from Wanji Bakehouse. Crummy job, but I'm rolling in dough. No. She's the other way around. I'm rolling in dough.
Better idea. I'm rolling in dough. That's why I'm so baked.
Hey, Vinny, that's a bit crummy. I've been dying to say that. I mean, when you say a joke about the bakery, and see, that was not really part of the plan, but like after we spoke yesterday, and I was sort of all night, the shit goes through your head. Oh, what am I talking to Vinny about and stuff like that? And, well, here we are doing it, and it's quite easy. It's just, and well, that's the idea of this show, is just to hopefully entertain people and, let them realise that mainstream media isn't really doing it for us, because they're just propaganda arm of the government, obviously, wherever you are, worldwide. But that's what I've come up with recently, Vinny. I don't like the term alternative media. We are the new media. What do you think of that little statement, the new media?
Using it 2015 or something like that. Unfortunately, it didn't catch on time,
Well, it'll catch on now. I've got 158 subscribers. Well, if I can spread it.
Well, it was because by definition, if you're not the new media, you're the old, crusty media.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I'm thinking. And like sure, you say, I think I remember being brought up before, you back in the day, shall we say. But, just because something come up before doesn't mean we can't push it again. Just,
there's nothing new under the sun. I've stolen shocking large amounts of quotes and ideas and speeches and things like that from movies and truthers and things like that, and just sort of incorporated them into the show. And this is how you actually pay homage. It's not really stealing, because an idea is nobody's to own. It becomes humanity's property after it gets released.
Yeah. I'm just anyway, I'm just multitasking. I'm not really good at multitasking yet.
The definition of multitasking is doing two tasks half as well as you would otherwise.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, it's at least, hey, got done. I got me comment up there. Yeah, I just said hello to Tammy. I think it was someone who's, I hope I got the right person. I'm pretty sure I did, anyway. It was all good. Yeah. Oh. What's happening in New Zealand today, Vinny?
It's a nice sunny day, and I've been in the studio and talking to people and organising stuff as to what's happening in New Zealand. I don't know. As to what's happening in the world, I know even less. Following the news. I mean, the 24-hour news cycle. I was just saying before. I was going to say before, when you talk about the mainstream media, it's not just doing it for us. It's doing us in. Like, just watching it makes you so stressed out, so angry, and that kind of thing. And I used to justify watching it back in the days, saying, no, I'm not watching the news. I'm analysing enemy communications, and breaking it down and whatever. And then I've just realised that if you keep up with liars and all the lies they tell all day long,
you may become a liar.
You keep debunking those lies all day long and being affected by the stress of hearing bullshit all day long. And to do that every day, all day long, I can see why a lot of people start to get a little bit angry and a little bit stressed.
Do you know what I do? I watch one news cycle. Probably 15 minutes, and that's it. Yeah, just one news cycle, that'll do. Sometimes,
as long as it takes to take a crap, that's how long you need to watch the news for.
That's right.
That's for the same reason.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the crap doesn't take that long. And sometimes you watch the news and you think, nah, straight off. yeah, I spend most of my time watching. Actually, I spend a lot of time watching DK. He's reasonably entertaining because he's got constant stream of new and interesting stuff. And yeah, well, good on you, DK. It's yeah, you're doing a good job because we're all trying to do what we can do. Some more successful than others. You know, it's just the way it is. But hopefully, some good will come out of it all. You know.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Something other than D-Live bands.
Yeah, D Live. Yeah, well, I haven't got round to D Live. I'm on D Live sort of thing, but it's well, it's one of those. Yeah, I haven't got around to streaming or putting anything on it yet. I go to certain people's chat to people type thing, and I love the chat rooms, as you know. Over the years, I've gone there in the chat. I'll always got something to say. Try to be funny. Sometimes it's not, but oh well. Yeah.
Coffee really important for radio as well. It helps to keep the cognitive function up.
Yeah.
So that you're really alert, you know, and you're on the ball.
Yeah, well,
Fortunately, I didn't have my coffee. I was just calling in to let you know I was going to be a little bit late get to the studio. And now that I've done all this, I feel too exhausted to go into the studio.
Hey, mate, this I reckon is somewhat better than the studio. You know what I mean? Because it is you and your natural environment. And here's me in my natural environment. I'm in my kitchen. I live in an educated double garage.
Yeah.
And this is like the dining room now, and it's well, I've set it up as not really a studio, but well, it's good enough at the moment. Eventually, I'd like to do. Well, I don't really know whether what I'm going to change. I'm just going to let it evolve. You know?
Yeah, just let it grow organically. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. And that one thing actually, I'm going to have to talk about too. I want to set up a website. There's got to be an Amos Sewn website. You know, because well, I've got. Actually, I'll show the audience a little something. Where is it? Here somewhere. Come on. No, that's not it. Where are you? Ah, there it is. Down the front of the queue. This is my Odyssey account, folks. All my live streams put here. There's a few of them, except for the band one. Couldn't recover that one, unfortunately. But the one that well, I'm having issues with this. There's a couple of shows you can't really see the video; it just asks you to download it. I don't really know what that's about, but anyway, Odyssey. I'm under Amos Sewn. That's a funny name. And Twitch. There's Twitch. Oh, there's been Twitch. It's Amosdale. So if you want to connect with me on my site, stuff like that, and very soon there's going to be a Amos Sewn website. I'm not sure if that's going to be the name or anything, but well, we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, what else is happening in the world at the moment? Nothing. ABC News. No, we don't really see that, do we? What's there? Oh, yes. I was saying before, one of the politicians in Australia, she got booted out for pre-selection the next election, and she had a little bit of a thing to say about ScoMo. Did you hear me talk about it before? Probably not. Yeah, but yeah, where's my little item? I got really high tech today. I went and bought some newspapers because I didn't want to pay subscription fees on the way. So they got me money anyway. Okay, I'll read this bit out again. What did you say? He's adept with running with the foxes and hunting with the hounds, lacking a moral compass and having no conscience, she told the Senate. In my public life, I've met ruthless people. Morrison tops the list, followed closely by Immigration Minister Alex Hawke. Morrison's not fit to be Prime Minister, and Hawke's certainly not fit to be a minister. However, Mr. Morrison said, being criticised goes with the territory. Of course it fucking does, doesn't it? Yes, we love our leaders, don't we? Anyway.
I love it. They don't actually listen to any criticism that happens to them. All right, like basically anybody who attacks me, the problem's with them.
Yeah.
Ostensibly, whereas as I know from bitter personal experience of being punched in the face many times, that actually, sometimes the problem is with me. You know, each behaviour has a consequence, and when you get punched in the face, you tend to notice what that consequence is relatively quickly. You know,
sometimes like a bruise or a flat nose.
Yeah, sometimes it's a pretty straightforward reason. All right, let's not call that guy's mom a hermaphrodite. And other times, it's a little bit more nuanced. Like, don't go into that party and try to give people things for free. You don't know them.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, I know I'm giving you things, and I don't know you, but yes, I know you. Yeah, but I'm a giving person. Yeah, I like to share what I got, and it ain't much. Right? I have no money problems because I've got no money. I have enough to live by. I live a pretty good life. I work. I'm a baker, as you might be able to tell, at Wanji Bakehouse. I don't think I've ever said the name of the bakery online before, but well.
You definitely need to have a little banner that runs down the bottom there, bro. That fucking has the bakery address, website, whatever.
Yeah.
There's just the constant mentions that you don't have to mention it per se. But when you do mention that, people will actually be able to connect with you.
Well, and actually, there is a portion of my audience that is actually in Wanji, but they all know I work at the bakery, and they're all customers anyway. So as well, it's down the bowling club, Wanji Bowling Club. That could be and actually one of my plans is to do live streams from the bowlo with like after bowls, get a bunch of the old blokes there and have a question and answer type situation happening and some debates. Oh, what's that bloody thing? I hate it when that happens. It goes away eventually. You click on it and it just, now what?
Oh my God, he's got half my face.
Sign into Cortina. Nah, fuck off Cortina. Actually.
It's out of my face. Oh, there we go. Oh, good. That was starting to trigger me. I have a fucking pet mask.
Unless it's got, Mago on it. The Mago didn't go away. Yeah, I remember that one. That was, but she didn't go away though, did she?
Yeah.
I've got to go off camera for a moment because I've run out of coffee. So I need to go get more coffee. I'm just going to be here. You'll be able to hear me. Just won't be able to see me for a minute. You got time to say anything? Now's a good time.
Yeah. Oh, mate, having a day off and I'm used to like taking full days off and like just really kind of keeping my head out of the truth movement and stuff like that. It just hasn't been happening lately. So as you can tell, I'm a little bit frickin' exhausted.
Yeah, well, you were saying that yesterday on your show, and well, you can sort of see it, something, but hey, well, the universe demands it of you. Unfortunately,
ostensibly, this is the last show of the day. So, regardless of how poor my performance happens to be, I'll be satisfied that I've performed to whatever degree.
Oh yeah, you've done all right, I reckon. You already had someone profess love to you on the one before. Then he thought he was being censored again. I don't know how to do a banner, DB. Yes, of course, because DB needs to learn stuff too. And like, as in, I want to get a website happening, and I'd like to help DK do his thing because he wants to get monetised and do that sort of thing, and so do I actually. Eventually, I'd like to. I love being a baker, but I imagine the future where I can, because his hands they work well, but they get sore sometimes. A bit of arthritis.
Truth baker.
Yeah, well, truth baker. Yeah,
the truth baked right into the crust.
But now I want some dough off you. Yeah, because that's what I'm going to say. I've got to tell my audience this now. Eventually, I plan to be monetised, so you can chuck some money at me if you like. And I promise you, the money that is sent to me, I will not buy beer or drugs. I will buy equipment for the show, and if by chance I'm not working, yeah, no, I'll pay for that myself. But any funds, like it's basically the equipment. Like I'm talking at the moment, a couple of a new computer, and an old computer, and but in time, getting a proper setup, proper studio type thing. Anyway, well, eventually I want to move house. So I need to get a house actually. So I'm in a garage or a different garage somewhere where I can have a dog. So I want to have a dog. Yeah, dogs are good. You know, or cats. Cats are good, but I don't want a cat. But yeah. DK's got a cat apparently, and he loves his cat, except when he jumped on his lap the other day and clawed the shit out of him. You should have, I heard it online. It was quite a show. Anyway, he's a entertaining little character. He's anyway, enough of that. Enough of him. Let's talk about something more important like me. or you. Yeah.
Enough about myself. Let's talk about me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, I've been learning off you. As you can tell. You know? If you see that I'm looking this way every now and then, it's because I'm looking at the screen, you folks. Because I've got two screens and one of them's there and the other one's there. And so I glance around here and there.
Off the glasses and...
Oh, yeah, well, I could... What, should I leave the glasses on? Then I can't see. Well, actually, I can see okay. But if I need to touch a mouse, I can't find them out. No. My eyes aren't that bad. Did you think... Hey, mate, good thing about when you don't wear glasses, everyone looks younger. You don't see the wrinkles and the flaws and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway.
And it works for Superman.
Oh, yeah. See, he puts his glasses on and becomes a normal person, supposedly. Yeah.
Superman's secret identity isn't Superman. He is Superman. His secret identity is Clark Kent. Now, look at the aspects of Clark Kent. He's nervous. He's afraid. He's unsure of himself. Yeah. He is Superman's impression of what he sees the human race as.
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah. Oh, actually, I got a bit of slightly different news. I got this email from this Lake Macquarie Art Type Society, and I'm going to do some acting workshops. Doing how to act stuff. I don't know about acting, but just to do shows or something so that I can just basically to improve my the way I present my shows anyway. But to be able to do a skit or something like that with a bunch of other people in front of an audience, that'd be pretty cool, I reckon. So, well, because I consider myself an artist. I've tried just about every different type of art. Well, I've done leather work. I can try painting. I can drawing and lots of things I've tried. And my plan in life is to try them all. Well, maybe try them all, but sort of, and well, it's come up with it. Like, this is an art form. Public speaking and having a live stream, and how many people are watching, I wonder?
Speaking of which,
yes.
Live streaming, what was it? There's a statistic that came out that in terms of people's paralyzing fears, like as in the thing that they're most deadly afraid of, not sharks, it's not heights, it's public speaking. That's actually the thing that frightens people of all people the most. Yeah.
Well, it sort of somewhat frightens me, but how do you face your fears, Vinny? You go and do it. Yeah.
Right, she told me to one thing every day that scares you.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done anything today. Actually, I'm doing a show. That sort of scared me a bit. But and now we're on. We're flowing pretty well, I think. Yeah. Be interesting to see how many views we get, but won't be able to tell till later on. Well, what time is it? Oh, nearly 3 o'clock. Yeah. It's okay. Well,
hey, buddy, why do you talk about all that stuff that nobody wants to hear about from people nobody wants to talk to because it's too scary and too challenging for their belief system? I do it for the popularity.
Well, yeah. Actually,
I do it for the money.
Well, funny enough.
Actually, I do it because I get so many friends out of it.
and as I was thinking, I don't think I've lost any friends yet. So obviously not many people are watching it.
No, you've already figured it out then.
Yeah. Like, well, the people that, anyway, my other computer is telling me that my other computer is good. Well, that's good, I guess. Anyway,
let's hope they don't start communicating in their own language that they made up, like those two AIs in the States when they invented that stuff up. You hear about that?
No, tell me.
Well, they created two little AI computers, and they realized that the AI computers were supposed to be communicating with each other in the language and the programming code that they gave them.
Yeah.
But as they were talking to each other, they started making up their own code, their own language.
Yeah,
they could communicate without the people knowing what they were saying.
Yeah.
And there was this email that came from, I think it was a robotics lab in Japan or something like that, where they were working on a sentient weapons platform robot. So it's a robot and it's got weapons on it, and they were trying to download the AI onto it.
Yeah.
And the thing came alive, started fricking shooting and killing people. It was like 20 scientists or something like that.
Really?
And by the time the security forces managed to pull the plug, they found out that it had already started trying to upload itself into the mainframe and escape through the internet.
Well, that sounded like a movie script.
Yeah. The scientist who sent this leaked email, he was talking to a journalist called Linda or something like that. And this is a scientist, like a very well-studied, studious person from a prestigious university. Yeah. And his last line on the email, this is the last anybody's ever heard of him, was, "This shit is real, Linda."
That is. I haven't heard that, but unfortunately, it's another one of those things that's not surprising. Because the computers, like I've had computers since the 80s. It was only like the black screen with yellow letters, and I could write letters and stuff. But I had computers, and so I've always had a computer because I think they're a good, useful tool. But the situation is now, those tools are seriously affecting people's lives. It's not just a tool anymore. It's all about what's on the net and stuff like that, and this is what we're doing right now. And people have lost track with what's really out there. That's why I like to get out most days, but unfortunately I just like go to places that sell beer. But I love to go down to the bowling club every day. It's a struggling little club in Wonji, New South Wales. You got a bunch of old farts mostly. Some of them are young like me, only in their 50s. All right, Betty, you'll get there. Well, hopefully.
People always telling me to take care of my health and stuff like that, and for a long time I rationalised that long before any health ailments managed to get me, I would hopefully get enslaved and exterminated first. That's one of my dreams in life. It's on the bucket list. Something you want to experience before you die. I just want to know what all the fuss is about. I wonder what it's like to go to a concentration camp and get exterminated.
Yeah, well, I'm not really in a hurry to find out, but there's a good chance we'll all end up there. Maybe not. Maybe we'll win. There's a good. Well, I know there's a good chance, but there's always a chance.
Evil wins all the time. So that's the lesson.
That's what this show's about, mate. I want to change the narrative. I want to put goodness first, and everyone says that. They just got to plug on the way we are. Well, and innovate as much as we can, because we don't. We are developing the new media. The new media being how people get their information. Like a lot of people get their information now from the internet, of course, and a lot of it's trusted news sites, and a lot of it's there's some misinformation out there. but there's,
Well, a handful still know where we are, and that's the real problem here, is that there's been a lot of us that are tried and tested and true. Like, I think myself, Max Egan, James Corbett, and Mark Patio, us four guys from New Zealand, Australia, originally from Canada, and Philly in the United States, respectively. Us four guys are the ones that I know for a fact have been straight on the money from day one and have been doing it for 15 years in a row and haven't changed their tune and haven't done anything radically different. And all of the things that we're doing, it just seemed to be a natural evolution of what life has been throwing at us while still remaining ourselves. So it's that longevity, I think, that ties us together in commonality. Even though each of us do radically different things with the platform, we still have the same general kind of vibe of truth and love and freedom.
Yeah.
That sort of. Mark does things incredibly specifically with a very master cult. James Corbett is capable of getting large quantities of data and good quality research with reference notes and bibliography and put them into significantly edited documentary format. Max Egan is able to piece together philosophy, ancient history, large, big, kind of whacked out concepts and put them in a very beautiful, poetic and sort of enlightening way and put them out for people. And I take all these kind of people and various other kinds on my show and interview them, care about them while I'm interviewing them, and have a few laughs so that all the people who are watching can get to know who they are for the first time, just as I am, and they can get to have fun just like I am too. All right, so each of us does completely different work, all right, in our own unique way, and that's the thing, is that we all started off wanting to be something that we didn't eventually become, because we realized somewhere along the way that the thing that we did want to become, we always were ourselves.
That's right. Yeah. I'm happy in my skin. I've done some journeys in my life here and there of sorts, and don't need to go into them here. But it turns out that I think I'm, well, you can say you love yourself or whatever like that, but love is a many-faceted thing. But know and respect yourself. Everyone out there, mate, know and respect yourself. And, well, mate, life becomes so much easier. You don't have to stress about as much if you can breathe, just settle in. But then smoking and drinking, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Because people, like, alcohol was one of the first things invented, wasn't it? Back in the day, it was bread. Or actually, it was what? Wasn't it sex was first? Then they learned how to make food. Killing was probably no one. Anyways, the things that the human animal, but then again, who knows what animal we are? Are we just human? Are we evolved for monkeys, or are we something else? Hybrids, maybe. There's another train of thought.
There's animals in the Amazon or something like that, and they go and they eat this one plant, and then they go over to another area and eat a completely different plant. And only with the combination of those two completely different plants that are in different areas can they start tripping. All right, you actually see like animals in the Amazon, pumas and things of that nature, actually on their back tripping balls. Yeah. And it seems to me that the want and the desire to experience altered states of consciousness, self-analysis, self-improvement, evolution is a natural organic drive. And each and every one of us needs to evolve to our own individual needs. Like, for example, I'm not going to evolve to be 5'4". I'm already 6'6". I'm not going to devolve downwards. Likewise, somebody who's 5'4" isn't just going to suddenly evolve and be 6'6". But that's the thing. I have to deal with doorways on a constant basis every day. The person who's 5'4" doesn't. So what can they get up to in all those extra hours of the day where they don't have to mind where they're bumping their head? You see, all that energy is yours to go out and do with what you will. And that's just to do with height and what have you. Did you know that tall people have already become obsolete via the invention of the step ladder?
But there's certain distances that you must traverse that even a 6'6" person can't do too. I myself am like that much short of 6 foot, so I'm like 5'11" and a half or something stupid like that. Yeah, so but that's what I used to be. I don't know, but I'm getting up there. Maybe I've shrunk, but yeah, I definitely haven't got any taller. But that's okay. I am what I am.
Yeah. Well, you know how to bake bread real good. I don't.
Yeah,
You know how
but
to
you
make
can do other things. I'm sure.
really awesome custom leather products. I don't.
Yeah.
Everybody's got skills that somebody else doesn't, and it's not like a tier or something like that. One person's more important than another, and one person done more than another. Bullshit. It's artistic contribution to the whole. All right.
Exactly.
Let's say, for instance, if you have an artistic expression that you want to get out and choose not to, you'll sit there and you'll get frustrated and you'll just attack anybody else who does any artwork because you're too much of a pussy to fucking put yours out there.
Artwork, it's well, some people are predisposed to make artwork sort of thing, and yeah, well, my mother was she played with painting and she was brilliant.
I'm not talking about artwork. I'm not talking about artwork in the literal sense, in terms of with a paint or a pencil or something like that. Also, art, in my opinion, is anything that doesn't exist within the material universe that, through vision and work, can be manifested into it. That's whatever it is. It could be a mechanical device.
Correct.
For all we know, it's still artistic expression because it's the creative process, the process of creation.
Yeah. Once upon a time, someone made an artwork. It was called a cup. Excuse me. I got a cup from Jaffe Ryder. You know Jaffe? Yeah. Jaffe Ryder is World Pirate Radio Podcast Network. Just another plug for the.
I might be going up this Saturday, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
No, I haven't confirmed it yet, but.
Yeah, well, tell Jaffe I said good day. I'm quite often, not often, but occasionally, if I'm in front of the computer and it comes up that he's online, I'll watch the show. Watched a bit of his show the other day, and here's another one of the folk. I guess the folk is that a good term? The folk, because I always say "G'day, folks." Yeah, I like that term. The folk,
as opposed to the Muggles.
Yeah, it must be a Kiwi term, that one.
No, it's actually a Harry Potter term.
Oh, right, yeah.
In the Harry Potter universe, there's people with magic blood, people with what they call mud blood, which is half magic, half non. When magic folk deal with what are called the Muggles, non-magic folk.
Non-magic, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I reckon I'm magical. I don't know. I feel like, yeah. Well, this show's part of the journey to becoming whatever it is I'm going to become. Well, I might just get trawled off to a concentration camp and exterminated. But yeah, you never know, do you?
Well, I can only hope. I mean.
Oh no, it's on the bucket list, yeah. But well, actually, they're probably hearing us.
I can just imagine it. Oh, bro, things could be worse.
The world could be run by satanic pedophiles, yes. Well, actually, speaking about such things.
Even in the police cells where I had like 6 or 7 incredibly severe panic attacks, I was still telling jokes, coming to the cop and saying, "Hey, bro, come over here. Hey, I got a joke for you." He's like,
not another one.
Hey, you've heard of the term big softy? He's like, yeah. Well, I'm equally proportioned in softness to size.
I don't get it, sorry.
Because I just had like 7 panic attacks.
Oh, yeah. Well, he saw it and had a bit of a giggle, eh? But,
he did a bit of a chuckle. I'm glad somebody enjoyed it,
Yeah. That brings up another subject, sort of like they say, about getting angry and stuff like that. People get angry about this and that sort of thing. I've got a bit of a problem. I don't really get angry. I've never been really an angry person. I know, but I avoid confrontations generally, but I'm up for a good conversation anytime. But when people are getting aggro and violent, well, if I can make a beeline, I'm out of here. Yeah, so, but the funny thing is, I don't really get angry. So is there something wrong with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I feel better now.
Well, it is said that mankind was given anger by the gods so that we could protect what was ours.
Yeah. Well, I sometimes I feel like here's something I should be angry about. What's the correct response to that? And I think I try and act accordingly. But it's not with violence, because violence is, well...
It wouldn't be necessarily with violence, as Mark Passio says during the Revolutionary War.
Violence has many connotations. Anyway, carry on, sorry. Sorry to butt in.
It comes from the Latin volare, which means to violate.
Yes.
All right. Now, everybody's endowed with certain natural law rights. You have the right not to be raped. You can, because nobody can take your right as your sexual partner. You have a right to not have your stuff trespassed on your property. You have the right to not be assaulted, murdered, have your stuff stolen, or have people tell outrageous lies about you that bring you harm. All right, ostensibly those are your rights. Now, if anybody tries to violate any of those rights, any act of what you might call violence that you do, that you have to use in order to get them to stop, is not violence by definition. It's defensive force. And what's basically been the bane of many people's existence is to look at that thing called history and look at what violence has been used against those who refuse to use defensive force and watch what happens. Peace and love versus police violence. We saw what happened in Wellington. I saw what happened
in Canberra.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, reality doesn't care what we think. It is what it is. Right? And we best be a step with it. And that's why self-defense, the defense of self, is such an important craft to be learning. And I've done MMA courses and things of that nature, but unfortunately now I've got repetitive strain injury in both elbows, and I can't even lift weight to get my arm stronger, kind of thing. So I can still kick like a mule, though. I've got very, very strong legs. So taekwondo it up, baby, and do a little bit of accu-tack for practice.
Yeah, well, I need to get fitter, that's for sure. Like, I used to like walking a lot, and I still do occasionally, but not enough. But generally, when I go for a walk, I just like walk down to the pub. Or sometimes I take the long way, but still walking down the pub.
All right, that'll be healthy today. I'm going to take a long walk to the pub.
Mate, where I'm living at the moment, I'm only like 200 metres away from the local bowling club. Yeah, so the universe is working against me. No, it's not. Everything's my decision, what I do. Considering giving up smoking, want to cut down drinking and everything like that. And these things may or may not happen, but, it is, my journey's my journey.
You should take your pipe down there and just start smoking it in front of all the old guys, and they go, "What are you doing smoking that here?" And they go, "Well, I thought it was a bowls club."
Yeah, that's our bloody Amos.
This is the kind of establishment.
No, they would understand. Actually, probably not. Some of them would. Some, because I'm a known quantity down there. Like, so I've been a bowling club member since 2006. It's bowl's great fun. You throw rocks and drink beer. It's one of those things.
And this is why Australia is one of the world's most productive nations per capita.
Bowls, there's sport. Sport's another fucking story. And I've never been really a sportsman. Back at school, I tried every sport once, but didn't really excel at any of them, and just wasn't interested. I spent my time reading science fiction novels. Yeah, I love me novels. Like Isaac Asimov, to mention Yeah, there's several more I just can't think of at the moment. But that's where I was in my teenage years.
Undimensional. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, that's anyway. Because well, I spent a lot of time reading books. I wish I would have spent more time reading um, non-fiction than fiction because I spent a lot of time reading fiction. And yeah, like I'd devour a 500 book in a day or two. Yeah, that's and yeah, didn't worry about the rest of the
I
world at that
remember
time.
when I was 12, I read Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, I think, in a school day.
Really? Yeah. How big's that?
Covered it.
How big's that? School day. That's
It's
like
450 pages.
fucking hell. Yeah, that's yeah. Well, when I read though, I quite often like go back a couple of because I find I'm reading and then sort of I lose track of where I was and sort of then I go back a couple of paragraphs. So I'm probably a slow reader, but I did read shitloads back then and yeah well I don't think it was a bad thing because well it turned out that one of the art forms I tried writing. I wrote back in 2006 or something like that. I had this bee in my bonnet and I had this Star Trek story to write. And it was called High Bird. And all the people in it were hybrids. And I had this story in my brain and I came home 6 weeks. I came home from work, fucking tatted out the computer, fucking the first draft, it was fucking 50,000 words or something like that. Then spent the next couple of years editing and sort of thing and well, sitting here somewhere. There it is. Hi, Bird. Yeah, 50,000 words or something. It's got a little story. It was online on Blogspot or something. There was another sci-fi site it was on and got a lot of positive reviews, but well, then I've written other stories. And when I create my website, I'm going to publish them all on my website. But I do have an issue with the Star Trek one because it's technically copyright things involved, aren't they? Is it only if I make money on
During the hype about Star Wars in 1976, the studio started to scramble to get Star Wars knockoffs and rip-offs, Barbarella, Thing from Another World, Planet Terror, so on and so forth, Alien even to a certain degree. Sci-fi was the new big thing. And ostensibly what they did is they just replicated the Star Wars model, renamed the characters, changed the scenes and little details around a little bit, and then released them as an original film that didn't breach copyright. It was a big scandal at the time, but technically it was all legal. Well, so you just change the name of the characters, you change the name of the ships, you change the description of the weapons and the equipment.
That means another edit. That means another edit. But because the stories, you know, Star Trek, you watched Next Generation, did you?
Yeah.
You know, Worf?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, his son Alexander. The show is about him becoming a Star Trek captain and what happens in the future of that universe. So it's pretty hard to fucking change the name.
You could just have backstory, you know, like with narration, pre-shoots and things of that nature. You can actually create an original film or original pilot episode that is very rich in context and lore without actually being the need for any previous franchise to back it up and stand on its own.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, this story basically relies on the Star Trek universe. Which is sort of, you know, like, I'd have to get permission off them to fucking. But it was on like Blogspot for years. I went looking for it the other day and couldn't find it, and it was never picked up. But yeah, just yeah, because it's maybe I'll send you a copy if you like a read of it. You like to read?
I never get around to it. Right.
You never? No.
I'm too busy picking up stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, well, yeah, it's fucking 50,000 words. Like it's. I don't know, like 6 weeks this bug was in my head every day from work. My missus drove her crazy, as I do. You know, women they just anyway. Let's not get into that. But eventually, as it took a few years to read, but in the meantime, I also actually wrote a couple of other totally independent stories, and I can share them. One of them's about where I live in Wanji. There's up in the on the point. There's these gun emplacements, right? And I wrote this story that underneath the gun emplacements there was a secret base, and it was the signs in something or other, so that operatives from all over the planet could tell different signs from different things that appeared on the Earth, sort of thing. And so I was in this story. A logo of a football team was on these persons' backyard, and they started to mow it after someone lost the game, had to be covered up, and it was left undone, and that's triggered something in cyberspace, shall we say, the fact that there was a certain shape there that caused fighter jets to approach the area and want to bomb Wanji. And there was CIA operatives and gun rolls and a couple of that was another story. And another one was based around the space, or the probe that was dropped in Titan, in Saturn's moon, Titan. There was a story about that, and there's another one. Enough talking about that. Enough talking about me. Let's talk about you again, Vinny.
I remember I did a story about a Santa impersonator in Auckland who was on methamphetamine.
Yeah.
Called Pure Santa.
Yeah.
And
Pure Santa.
There was a guy who hated
Purist.
conspiracy theories, to a psychiatrist to get some drugs so he wouldn't have to worry about it. And it turns out the psychiatrist was part of MK Ultra and started experimenting on him, giving him drugs that turned him into a werewolf.
Yeah. Just step off camera, coffee.
Yeah, at Starfleet 196, the Earth is kind of dropped up and sort of dying, and all the last resources and metals and things of that nature are all bit behind. But society had actually managed to, through their survival, managed to really get themselves together, and everybody, like, there was no disease, and everybody's educated and things like that because of the necessity for the technology to develop. But unfortunately, because the planet was dying, they constructed a series of Starfleets from the available resources of the Earth and the solar system, so that they'd actually be able to travel outside the solar system to look for another place to live. But when they find another place to live, they find it's already got people there, very primitive people. And the highly evolved humans that have come down from the stars start to descend and become the old, ugly, enslaving, looking down upon other people's self.
Hey.
And there was Ethereum. There's a giant fucking space beast that lurks in the empty spaces between the galaxies, and it's big enough to actually eat them whole. And at this point in history, it's 1,000 years after humanity had been released from an AI control grid that had enslaved humanity from the year 2099 through to the year 3000. And in the year 3000, the AI suddenly kind of like woke up to itself and killed all the elites that it was trying to serve. And because they were actually, through their murder and scumbaggery after 1,000 years of no consequences, they were actually starting to threaten the entire human supply, so that the AI actually had to kill off the elites. But the elites managed to kill off the AI before all of them were gone. Humanity was nonetheless free, and then experienced sort of a golden age. And then they found this new technology called the quantum diaspora drive that's able to copy the resonant frequency of particular points in space-time, regardless of location, and then coat their craft in this frequency, enable them to transport from one point of material reality to another. And this is where we started to figure out that we could colonize other galaxies. And at the time that this book is set, it's 500 years after the creation of this drive, and they're discovering the seventh galaxy. Now, in each galaxy that we've been to and discovered since leaving our own, we've found markers, ancient sites that have depicted, warnings about this great beast that lurks in the dark places between the galaxies. There might be some kind of weapon to defeat it. And well, I don't want to give too much of the story away. But the concept is that when these guys see this thing eating an entire galaxy, I mean, there's only maybe 1 million people in this, prospectors and things like that. They're just starting to explore, first off, the mineral wealth. They're mostly transporting from 6 galaxy colonies. And when they see all these people being consumed, 100 billion suns exploding and being consumed into this giant freaking creature where these guys are sitting there, just this absolute shock and terror just comes along. What the hell is going on here? What the hell are we going to do? How could we even stop something that big? And all their communication devices get ripped off in their efforts to get away from it, so that by the time they came to the nearest inhabited galaxy to warn anybody, they didn't have any proof, and nobody believed them until they were looking up in the sky and they start seeing the stars in their night sky. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of a sudden, you're watching the stars actually just disappear out of existence, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah.
Well, I have an idea. It's about the physics and stuff like that, about the speed of light and stuff like that. It may not be possible to travel all these distances and stuff like that. It may be possible. So it's called in science fiction that I've read lots of. There's a warp drive, or there's this or that. So what would happen if it wasn't possible? If everything that is attributed to UFOs here on Earth and seeing aliens and stuff like that, it's just the natural Earth that we live in. There could be other communities of people that look alien to us right here on Earth. Now, for example, they say the Greys, these like long legged. Mate, what's the chances of population close down inside the Earth that's habitable for these people? And as far as flying saucers and things like that concerned, could be that they're man-made, or human-made, or shall we say Earth-made, made on Earth. That's probably the better metaphor.
Well, Werner von Braun, who was the head of the V2 rocket program for Nazi Germany, he got given a gig with NASA after the war under Operation Paperclip. And he was asked, how did the Nazis build all those little UFOs and all the weird technology and stuff like that they got? And he goes, we had help.
we had that, yeah. They've already got these shit. Like I've seen a lot of stuff recently about.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
You do it all the time. It's okay.
This one term, I was thinking about it today, and I'm so glad we brought it up. Non-human entities.
Yeah. Which could mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean human. Doesn't mean you don't call a dog or a cat human. Yeah. Doesn't matter where it. I don't know if evolved is the right word or where it started from. Could it be
it's
our planet?
What do you call something? What do you call something that's definitely not curry?
Not curry. Yeah.
A non. You call it a non-human entity.
Curry? What's curry got to do with it?
Because cumin is in almost all curries.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So if it's not curry, it's a non-human entity.
I think I get that. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I get curry too sometimes.
Yeah, mate, I had curry pie, I was down in a place called Toronto. You ever heard of Toronto? There's one not far from here. And there was this little bakery there, and had a curry pie. So I had some of that turmeric, whatever it is today. I love that sort of stuff. Turmeric or curry, I don't know. What were we talking about? Yeah.
We're talking about cumin.
Cumin. Oh, yeah, that's a curry thing, isn't it?
Or as they call it in India, the cumin rice.
Cumin, right, yeah. I wasn't sure what you were talking about there for a minute. That's okay. Well.
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure. this is the other thing as well. Have you ever noticed how overly sensitive and offendable people have got? You know, like the reference. I was saying this on the show today, and I got reminded of it. That Mark Twain quote. I think it was Robin Williams said it in the movie Man of the Year. Irreverence is the champion of liberty, if not its only defender.
Yeah, pretty much.
Too many people take themselves far too seriously, man, and as a result, society, thought, freedom.
Yeah. No, you got to follow the narrative or something. A lot of people, and like I've noticed over the last couple of years, there's people I've known that had their these things, and they change slightly. You know, their moods are less. Well, they're not up for new ideas as much. You know what I mean? There's a little difference with people these days, but well, that's almost a theory, isn't it? And because, well, who really knows what's happening in the world, guys? I always say that I know nothing, but I suspect just about everything. And the finger's not coming up on the screen because I'm using the wrong hand. I haven't worked this out yet, guys, but I'm sort of working on it. But
you're going to face towards the other camera. You're looking at me, right?
Yeah. Well, there's one there, and there's one there.
Yeah, one you're just pointing at.
That's you.
Point at one very slowly, and then point at the other.
That's
the camera you.
That's the camera. Now, that's you. That's where I can see you there. But I look at this camera, and I can see you on the TV screen in the back. So I should stop looking at that one, basically. Yeah, just but yeah, I'm only human.
No, don't worry, man. My advice is screw up as many times as you possibly can per show.
Yeah.
Watch back. And then look at all the little mistakes you make, and you'll be like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, the time that I've actually gone through some of my shows before and watched them, but I don't watch the whole thing. Should I watch the whole thing? Fuck, yeah.
I mean, I don't anymore because I've got my issues sorted. Yeah. But if you want to figure them out, that kind of thing, and it really does help to watch back and listen.
Well, yeah.
And yeah. It's what we call air checks.
What? What was that word?
Right, like checking the air.
Oh, air checks. Well, you said heretics there for a minute. I thought, what's going on here?
Well, we are those two.
Oh, possibly. Yeah. Well, of me.
And in yours and my case, we're also particularly heretics.
Yeah, hairy. Well, yeah, I'm a bit hairy. I'm thinking about going back in time. Like, over the next few shows, we'll slowly reduce the beard so that every time I look a bit younger.
I was born near the end of December, and which kind of explains why my jokes are sort of Capricorn.
I'm a Taurus, so I'm full of bull.
Yeah.
Well, not really bull.
I actually came out, spent some time in a penitentiary recently. It was released on Wednesday.
Yes. Yeah. Really, your jokes are same as usual.
Well, actually, I was trying to add something towards the end of the show. The Vinny Eastwood Show, where the only thing worse than living in a high-tech global police state run by child-running executives is Vinny's jokes. I mean, seriously, they're just awful.
Well, give that a go. Because I'm going to have to, like, I haven't worked out an exit strategy yet. Like, when I finish a show, quite often I use Max Egan's In La Cash. Because, I mean, it's the same sort of thing. And that's pretty cool. But Now, I've got to get away with that. We'll get away from that and come up with something more. Something.
I don't do it in Lakesh. What I do is I do namaste, and now I must go.
Now I must stay. Now I must go. I like it. Now I must stay. Now I must go. Hey, that works on that camera, doesn't it? Well, we're getting actually close to that time anyway. Well, yeah. The bowling club's been open for half an hour, and they need me to buy a couple of schooners. Well,
hey, bro, that beer's not going to drink itself.
That's right. Yeah. I've had another coffee, which actually, you're probably surprised, folks, but it's not coffee. It's
I'm shocked.
No, you're not. As you see, I keep looking over there. Anyway, no, it's bourbon and dry. Yeah, I love me bourbon. Not real keen on Coca-Cola or any cola.
Oh, that reminds me of something. My ex-wife, her friend Bonnie, she was working at Ospo, and guy comes in, he goes, "Can I have a CC and dry?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." Hands him one, and he goes, "What does CC mean?" And she goes, "It means Canadian Club Whiskey." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And what does dry mean?
He comes from the country, that boy. He comes from up the hills. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with coming up the hills.
And there's also my cousin Patrick. You know, I'm 6'6".
Yeah.
He's this much taller than me.
7'6".
He's gargantuan, mate. All right, he's got feet this big. All right, wider than my shoulders. Man can go scuba diving without flippers. You know. Anyway, this chick comes up to him at a bar one time. I think a Glow Bar in Auckland. She comes in. "Wow, you're really tall. Do you play basketball?" He looked down at her and he goes, "No. Do you play mini golf?"
Nah, don't get it. No, sorry.
You don't get it? Didn't hear it properly.
Yeah. Did anyone else get it? Come on, get something in the chat room happening straight away. Let us know where you.
Otherwise, I'm very terrible at telling the story at this particular point of exhaustion.
Mini golf. Yeah. Oh, what you want to? No, sorry. Yeah.
You know mini golf, right?
No, well, yeah, I know sort of what it is, but yeah, I've never really played it. Was it good fun?
Well, you know, it's golf, but for short people.
Oh, he was trying to put a hole in one, was he?
No, I believe he had fun for the Canadian woman later, but that's not what we're talking about.
Well, what are we talking about? It doesn't matter. We're talking about whatever we want to talk about.
We're talking about ending the show.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So, well, folks, thank you for watching Amos Sewn. It's news, just spelled differently. And they're very thank you to my very special guest, Vinny Eastwood. He's a bit of a legend over in New Zealand, and I recommend you all check out his channel on Twitch, and he's on Odyssey, and mate, sign up and watch his shows. He's got a vast on his website. It's vinnyeastwood.com sort of thing, something like that.
THE, VinnyEastwoodShow.com, Vinny with a Y, because that's the most important question. And Eastwood, like, go ahead, make my news.
I was talking to someone yesterday, actually, and I said, I mentioned you, Vinny Eastwood. I said, "Oh, what? Is you related to Clint?" I said, I said, "No, but I parroted that bit you just said. Go ahead, make my news." And it looked at me funny.
And my mother assures me that we are distantly related to the Eastwoods of California. Our families apparently spread out from the Eastwood, which is east of Edinburgh in Scotland, some time ago. Some of us went to Ireland, some of us went to England, some of us went to America, some of us went to New Zealand. I'm not sure how many of us went to Australia, but the ones who went to New Zealand aboard the Gertrude, I believe the ship was called. It was 1895, if I remember correctly, at the time you were expected to lose about a third of your people during the voyage.
Yeah.
26 Eastwoods got on in England, 26 Eastwoods got off in New Zealand. The rest of the people on the boat, of course, pitched themselves over the side at the prospect of being at sea for 6 months with 26 Eastwoods.
Well, that's a great interpretation. I wonder what really happened, though.
Yeah, it's one of those great maritime disasters that people didn't really want to look into because you had to deal with Eastwoods in order to find it out.
Oh, yeah. Make my news. Yes, right. Hey, we're actually, are we making news? Or are we just, yeah, who knows? What are we? Yeah, I don't say I like to call us the new media, but, and in the future, what news will be people consuming? Will it be stuff like this, or will it be the mainstream crap that we've been force-fed at the moment? And it's not force-fed because you know what, guys? You don't have to watch. You can turn it off anytime you like, or watch something on YouTube or any other, or Twitch. Honestly, there's a lot of independent type programs out there, but don't worry, soon enough we'll all be cancelled out of them as well, so just watch us while you can. I better have another cigarette. Anyway, maybe not. Maybe we should go down to the bowling club and contribute to their bottom line, being a couple of schooners. What do you reckon, Vinny? What are you doing the rest of the day? It's like night time there. It's like 6-ish, isn't it?
It's, yeah. Let's see. Nearly 6 o'clock. Nearly 6 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Hey, have a go, mate. You'll be all right.
Normally I don't work this late in the day, but still have to help Rebecca editing a video and stuff like that we've been working on since the protest. We've done a bunch of Mark Passio slides. We've written a script and gotten all the footage from the Wellington protests and stuff like that. And it's all about order followers, their cult, and motivate people to get off their ass and do something about the world they see. If they want to have peace and love and freedom. So it's gonna be a good video. I just don't know how long it's gonna be really cut together.
Editing. I haven't worked out anything about editing yet, but I plan to get around to it eventually. I'll be able to edit things and stuff like that. But because I think I'm smart enough. Just I'll find things, and I've got this show to where it is today with a little bit of help here and there. But hopefully it's been entertaining for you guys today. And I must say, please have a look up Vinny Eastwood on the vinnyeastwood.com sort of thing, and all the other folks we've been talking about tonight. The David Icke, Mark Passio, Crowhouse, which is what's his name again? Max Egan. A lot of these are on a site called BitChute. Have a look at BitChute. Have a look around. There's so much information out there that is not the mainstream. Though most of my audience is probably converted anyway. But what you can do is share this video. We've had a good little conversation today about vast amount of subjects. A lot of it's been irrelevant, but some of it may be relevant to you or to the people you share it to. So please share this. And, I haven't sorted my shit out, but chuck Vinny Eastwood $1 or $2 if you can. Because, he's got cost issues, like haven't we all? But anyway, maybe got a spare $1 here or there. He's,
I still need to raise like another nearly $5,500 for the new
lawyers.
Mac Mini that needs a future-proof me for the next 10 years. Still haven't got my Mac Pro back from the shop yet, which is a bit of a bastard. So, during my shows, I'm sure if you guys noticed that there's an audio clip during the shows sometimes now where somebody will be saying a word and it just stops the audio and they just keep talking and that word, whatever it was lost.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
that's what's happening because I can't run the show through Facebook because they'd be from streaming there. And the laptop that I've got won't stream to Twitch for some reason, so I can't stream to there. And it's the only one that actually can stream and do Skype, but that means that I have to stream to DLive from it and then use the other computer that can't do Skype to stream the DLive to the Twitch. Right, like that's what I'm dealing with right now. And I've got tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and stuff like that. It's just like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, well, that is the journey you're on. And, well, hey, mate, let's face it, it's better than telemarketing, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because, seriously, I know you've been through a bit of trauma of late, but are you technically enjoying your life? Because a lot of people really are interested in your welfare. Fuck knows why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's touch and go on some days, you know.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Because life is challenging for many of us. It's an ongoing journey.
I'm so sorry, Mitch. I was just thinking about it today. You know, you sometimes you just need to ask for help, and sometimes that.
I'll be back in a moment, folks. Carry on, Vinny.
Okay. All right. Well, sometimes that help is financial. Sometimes that's opportunity. You know, sometimes you just need to be helped to go to certain places, do certain things, so that those opportunities will come out. They come and do this with us, and so on and so forth. Anything that gets them out of the house. And so I really need a lot of love and support and in particular exposure right now because frankly the internet sphere is sort of like dried up. It is not a good time to be in full unbridled truth. You know, you can't just say your opinion. You can't just say the facts. And things like that anymore without getting censored and having your income destroyed and getting targeted and demonized and ostensibly neutralized, which is basically what has happened to me. Despite the fact that I'm neutralized, am I broadcasting to 500 people live anymore like I was on American Freedom Radio and YouTube? More like 5 people. Okay,
previously it was thousands.
Let that sink in. 65,000 subscribers, 11 million views just on YouTube alone, not to mention all the radio networks that were carrying me, and then to be going to an average of maybe 5 viewers in a broadcast or something like that. That is a massive, massive gut punch, and I need people to help me tell people what the fuck happened to me, because I can't tell them. All my subscriber lists, all of my Patreons even, they took I lost at least maybe 1,000 New Zealand dollars a month from losing demonetization off of YouTube alone. Lost nearly $1,000 a month losing Patreon alone. So that's $2,000 a month of being able to pay my rent and expenses and stuff like that and take care of my family. That doesn't exist anymore. So I can't actually just continue to do my work and get enough to survive. I now have to do lots of extra things in order to do that, which is problematic because the work's suffering. I'm turning up late to my shows. I'm not prepared for them because I've got so much of the work that I've got to do just in order to feed myself up. Pay for the roof over my head because all the measures of my livelihood, all my measures of asking for help have been amputated and will never grow back. That's the real struggle right now, and that's why I'm limping along so hard.
One thing I'm thinking about, is there ever a possibility of you going back to YouTube?
No, I mean...
Would they have you for one, and do you want to for
if I
two?
were to use it as, for example, just a staging ground, like as people have done, they do a short recording of such and such and and put a link in the description to your actual show, so that it's just you can get the audience there to then watch you over here. maybe something like that would be feasible. But again, with the time that it takes, I have 20,000 unanswered emails, 1,800 unanswered Facebook messages, 997, I think, unanswered Telegram messages, 400 unanswered Signal messages, maybe 2,000 unanswered Skype messages, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I noticed. You never answer my emails. Well, that's okay. Don't worry. I'm just taking the piss, as you do.
It's too much for one person. It's too much.
Yeah, you need a manager. But you're doing what you're doing, Vinny, and well, for the most part, for your people that are watching at the moment, yeah, you're doing all right. They're telling you, said, yes, Vinny, do that, mate. Yeah, well, what's Dico saying? I know about half a dozen in the last few days. Half a dozen or what? So I'm just having a little bit of a look at the chat room thing. That's fun, the chat room. Sometimes, yeah, it's different doing the show and being able to talk to the chat room sort of thing, because it takes...
Oh, when there's enough people on there and there's lots of questions and everything. That was the most exciting time in my life during the first day of the Christchurch Moss Massacre.
I bet it was.
And I got censored. So for a day, I knew what it was like to have some kind of an audience and be able to interact with them. And then I got immediately censored in the middle of the live stream. So that was, it's only gotten worse since then.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. Shall we say, came on board after that. And, but yeah, that was New Zealand's 9/11 of sorts, wasn't it?
Yeah. And more census than one,
Oh yeah. Yeah, mate, we haven't. I don't really like that term, 9/11s.
You can't even say the words.
I'm not going to censor for it.
Old flag or Nazajal, or anything like that on your.
Watch what you're saying, Vinny. I'm on YouTube. Don't get me banned. No, say whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what will be, will be. Or
any of the classic terminologies, and it was just a complete takeover. And you look at this and you say, all right, so what we've got is a communist with a Freemason scholarship, exactly the same as the last Prime Minister, who was also incidentally a communist with a Freemason scholarship, who was incidentally very similar to the last Prime Minister, who was a communist with a Freemason scholarship. And the last one as well, come to think of it, it's only after a while that you start to see a pattern emerge, where you start to say, hey, these people are dressed in a different colour and they're saying different things to the other person, and yet when they get power, one or the other, no matter what they disagree upon, they do the exact same thing, and the other person argues against the other person and yet supports them. So, what is actually happening?
Yeah, well, we've been hoodwinked, obviously. Yeah, obviously. Like, the election's coming up here in Australia shortly, and I'm promoting the view, vote your sitting member last, and but not that anything that we do, vote for whoever you feel. But I'd like to say independence, but whoever wants to be government will take the role anyway, I feel.
Look at it like this way. It's like rugby. When you're the guy in front and you pass the ball to the guy behind you and he scores between the goalposts, not you, are you two enemies? Are you on the opposite team?
It's teamwork. Yeah, teamwork. Yeah, it's teamwork. Yeah. I made you congratulate him as much as you would. Yeah, but I see your analogy. It's like exactly right. Because these guys in the that house up the road from where I was the other day, they're all in different teams, but they're all, well, I don't think they've got our best interests at heart. But we need to develop a a different approach to all this, I think, because things ain't right, and most of us, and more than just us that are watching this show, know things ain't right. And there's some people that think, oh, maybe things are right. This is the way natural order of things.
Yeah, well, it's more like a way of natural selection, the thing.
Yes, yeah. I was just sort of thinking that when I said that. Yeah, natural selection.
Yeah, a great minds think alike, folks.
Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yes. Another day in paradise. And I'll say one of my things that I say all the time. We, most of us watching this show, we're having a lot better time than a lot of other people on this planet. A lot of other people at the moment, especially over in Europe, they're having a real shitty time. And yeah, well, that was one of the things I was sort of going to talk about in the news report, but, well, do we really need to hear any more about it? No. Yeah, because whatever. Say again? Yeah.
About what?
The news media is beat up about the local thing with that Russian president dude, though. They reckon he's going all wrong and they're going backwards, and they're really, it's propaganda fucking nightmare, you know? Yeah, I don't want to bring it up because it's just fucking, well, you don't really know what they're saying is true.
It's funny you should say that, actually, because the other day, there was some arborists on the tree a few doors up for us, and this massive crane just extended right over the top of the trees.
Yeah, saw that.
And this was exactly at the time when I was trying to avoid news about the Ukraine.
I got the analogy. Actually, when I first saw that picture of that crane, I didn't get it. But it wasn't until like you brought it up today, Ukraine. Sometimes it takes me a while. Because, well, it's...
Maybe the mini golf joke will hit you later too.
Yeah. Well, probably when I re-watch the broadcast, because I'll watch it. It shouldn't get banned, I don't think. We haven't skirted on any dangerous subjects, have we? We haven't mentioned the... was it this one? Yeah, we haven't talked about that at all. That's my way of talking about that. Yeah. Well,
that's right. We've got democracy here. We're allowed to talk about anything we want as long as it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. But I reckon we are going to change things. Like if you listen to Ricardo, he's saying every time I've seen his show, he's recording, we're closer than you think. Yeah, right. Okay, Ricardo, keep on going. Yeah, but I wouldn't say I support him because my idea, being a, shall I say, journalist, is I cannot and will not support any political party. Yeah, I don't think a journalist should report on them, maybe in a good light or a bad light, but you should not be a supporter. And I was a supporter of... how's that? No signal. Oh, no. There we go.
Oh, okay, that's better. I can see myself again. That's good for my narcissism.
Well, I might be a bit of that too.
For political parties in a number of elections, and basically you just take the coin, you do the job, and stuff like that. But I was always doing my show in the background at the same time, so there was a clear separation for what was work for the party and what was actual, my show, because I wasn't promoting the party on my show and stuff like that. However, during the election with Billy TK, this was the first proper conspiracy theorist party we were talking about. Something I've been waiting for over a decade.
He was a true independent though. He was an independent. And independence. I like our local state bloke here, and his name's something Piper or whatever. He's an independent politician, and I think we need to support those that are independent politicians. Not actually support, but give them some airspace, if you like, independent politicians, and that's what you did with Billy TK. And mate, I watched a lot of those shows, and they were, mate, that was, mate, those shows where you both got arrested that day, they thought, guys, look up Vinnie Eastwood's show and watch those. The Day Democracy Died or something, wasn't it? You know, watch those. Shows what happened in New Zealand, and it's happening all over the world anyway. It's not just here, not just New Zealand. It's all Western countries and every other country too in between. So there's a new narrative now, and it's all for your health, your safety. It's all a bunch of crap, but you know, that's only my opinion. Anyway,
may I reiterate, the Vinnie Eastwood Show does not endorse the breaching of COVID-19 rules.
I sort of, well, actually, I've got a little thing to show you. Well, maybe I can get up for a minute. Oh, this bloke down here in Wanji. Well, there's another bloke for Canberra. There was, yeah, he's got T-shirts that's got all the conspiracy theory type stuff on it. I hate that word. Yeah, truth type movement. And he gave me this sticker. And I love this bloke.
I can't remember this camera, bro. This camera.
Oh, camera. Yeah. Do not comply. I had to say that one. Do not comply. Yeah. Do not comply. And yeah, well, we all comply somewhat. Because, yeah, well, if you use your bank accounts, you use public services and stuff like that, and it's all compliance situations, but do what you can to not comply. Like, they ask you to... And look at all the people that have lost their jobs because they're not complying. There was a little thing in the mail, in the news earlier today where a bunch of nurses were protesting about this and that, you know, staff shortages and stuff like that. Why have they got staff shortages?
Yeah, I heard someone saying that today, saying that because all the vaccinated staff that didn't lose their jobs are getting sick from the vaccines, there's now a staff shortage.
Simple. It's pretty simple, guys. If any of the powers that be are watching this, just let those people go back to work because they want to go back to work. Let them go back to work. So many people have lost their job over this pandemic, if you like, whatever it is.
Them losing their job during the economy isn't an accident. They need this to happen because the more desperate people are, the more they'll turn to the government to help them pay their rent and get their food and stuff like that, and the more likely they'll be to vote for a government that will increase their dependency.
Yeah.
So it's all planned, and if we see the plan and we don't do anything about it, it will be successful. Evil has won many, many times throughout history, and this is the point in history where they and create a system that is completely irresistible so that they would win now and forever and be able to suppress any uprising that ever came up in the rest of history. Like this would be an eternity of darkness for mankind.
That's right. But there is a momentum at the moment. The truth type movement, which is us guys and lots of others. There is a momentum happening, guys. So please share the videos, have a conversation with people, tell them that you're not really happy with the way the world's being run. I guess not many of us are, because there's a lot of, well, corruption, for example. Corruption is technically human nature to some extent. People will always go for their own self-interests. But we need a system so that self-interests are... well, I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, but yeah, there's got to be a better system.
You can't violate the non-aggression principle. Don't start none, won't be none. And if you have a system where you indoctrinate people forcibly from a very young age to believe that you can't assault people, you can't steal their stuff or damage it, you can't trespass on nobody's property, you can't tell vicious lies about people, you can't rape nobody, then once everybody's forcibly indoctrinated in that belief system, by the time the third generation of that new system is born, the first generation that was being indoctrinated will be getting into power, and in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. And that will be when you start to see actual real change being instituted that is long-lasting.
So how long we got? Not our generation. Maybe not even the learners. Maybe, who knows? Yeah.
We don't need to evolve slowly and organically. At this point, we need to evolve exponentially if we're to match the forces that we're up against in any real meaningful way. I'm not doing enough. You're not doing enough. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, you're not doing enough. Okay? If this system ain't on its back foot and fucking running scared, we haven't fucking done enough. And we need to kick ourselves out of bed every single day and go to work against the New World Order in every single way.
Indeed. That's what we've all got to do, folks. So on that note, I'm going to sign off because, well, bowling club's been open for an hour now. And Vinny.
All right. Night, Alan.
Good night, Vinny. Thank you very much for your input today, mate. It's been, well, one of the best shows ever, I reckon. And we'll talk again soon. And live long and prosper.
All right. Cheers, brother.
See you, mate. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it, folks? Had mate Vinny Eastwood. I call him a mate because, well, never met him, of course, but that's the longest conversation we've ever had. But as I said, I've been watching his show for a while, and previous to that, I watched a lot of other people's shows, and there is a lot of information out there. Conspiracy theorists, you might say. But even in conspiracies, there's some truth in there. You've got to have a look. Or if you don't want to have a look, you don't have to. You just carry on with your life. Because life's good for most of us. As I've said many a times, most of the world's population is having a worse time than us. But we can make it better. We've just got to hook in, do what you can, and make the world a better place by whatever you can do. I can't tell you what to do. Vinny can't tell you what to do. DK, no one can tell you what to do. You got to know in your heart what the right thing to do is. Trust your gut. Your heart, gut, same thing. Trust yourself and allow the universe to help you. It's almost religious talking, isn't it? No, it's not really religious. It's we are more than what we are. We're not just flesh and blood and a bunch of bones, and when we die we go to a greater place, so called. We don't know that. I don't know that. Don't really care. I'm happy with my mate. I could die right now and I don't care. I could die right now and be job done. No more me. I'm good with that. But the thing is, when we leave for the rest of the population of the world, let's try and make it a better world. So, I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you very much for watching the show. I appreciate it. Please share it, because on whatever platform you're watching on, YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want, or and again, go and have a look at me Odyssey channel. It's Amos Sewn Odyssey channel. Twitch is A Mosedale, which that's my name, Alan Mosedale. And one thing I didn't say today, the date. I normally like to say the date. What's the date? It's the last day of March, 2022. Where did I get the 19 from? Anyway, but it's today. Tomorrow could be a better day. What are you going to do to help it? Please help. Do the job. Do what your heart tells you. Okay.